feel like I was trying to do my job as well. You know, I was just trying to say, yeah, you know, it's going to be, you know, you've got to do that. But turned out it ended up being really fun. So if you missed that, you should go back and watch it on a VOD somewhere. But right now, you need to pay attention to this one.
Perhaps at the Blast Premier YouTube channel.
That's exactly it. Check it out. Go catch up on everything. It looks like they're leaning towards that A-bomb side complexity. Going to be starting on the T side and, well, shut down early. You do not want that kind of a beginning. In fact, you want to be the one landing that early kill. They know you're coming. That's a pretty good grenade, but they need a follow-up if they actually want to take down Device. So far, all they've do is damage him.
That is a pretty interesting grenade to just throw as a single nade. They've also lost Oboe now, and they just don't have the manpower to fight at the bomb site and clear sandbags, and it doesn't even matter. Now here's where Disaster is going to strike for complexity. Is on this ramp at this A bomb site. Once guns are in hand, it's not going to be USPs peeking down. It's going to be the AWP of Device. It's going to be picked up Kriegs. It's going to be M4s. It's going to be a lot of nades, a lot of smokes. It's going to be hectic.
That's a strong start for Astralis, obviously, but I don't know. I sort of feel like it looked like they had a plan that they wanted to follow through to the end that just didn't adapt along the way there. Because it's one thing losing the early fight to just a clean, you know, USP shot like that. But even then, as we said, they sort of kept slowing it down and they were just getting chipped apart, you know, one at a time.
Well, that's what's going to be interesting to see is if they've even played this map enough. They've not logged officials on it, but how much time have they put into it in scrims or in just theory crafting with their practice? Are they going to know the angles to peek over when the smokes come in? Are they going to know the protocols to clear things out when the smokes eventually clear?
More and more teams are starting to get quite good on this map. There was a time when, you know, you could have been the first team to make it your own, I think, not even that long ago. You could have decided, okay, we're going to be the Vertigo team, but I think now, just, you know, so many are starting to really work it out.
Well, I think part of that was there was a bit of a carousel. I know there were like 3 or 4 teams that were vying for it at different points. That's a good kill on the config, an opening frag for complexity, but low HP. 2 HP on config, 33 on rush. They are not in a good place. I think now that the map has kind of settled down, now that there's not a change every week or every 2 weeks, teams are much more confident to put some time and put some work into this map, and I think that's where you're starting to see the hierarchy of Vertigo kind of settle down.
That's a good setup there, especially with the double stack of Dupree and Sip as Oboe. He wanted to take the swing with the Deagle, and it made perfect sense, but just wasn't ready for 2 of them. And they know where Blameif is as well, so looks like there's not going to be any kind of a bomb plan, and they will only lose Magisk in the round. Astralis excited about that, obviously. Dupree with a triple kill. We were seeing a lot of eye rolls and sighs and just, you know, general annoyance out of Dupree in that Dust 2 map.
I think there was probably, I mean, I saw Device kind of laughing and smiling towards the end, despite the fact that they were getting kind of demolished, but I think there had to have been a certain level of stress and frustration throughout that map, although a team of this experience is going to be able to brush it off in the break.
Yeah.
Magisk growing a beard, finally shedding that mantle of Magisk boy.
That's true. Magisk man now.
He's an adult.
Yeah. They grow up so fast, don't they?
They do. Okay, that's a big difference from 1 to 26 to now, this. That's a good change.
Yeah, that's kind of ridiculous. Was that like close to like an 8-fold difference or something? That's a little bit outrageous. But fair enough. I could understand that. If you were watching that Dust 2 map, you could have really changed your mind, I think, in the interim. Magisk set up in a pretty strong position. He's got some backup there as well. Right behind him, Glaive could jump up or get boosted up, I think, by Dupree, but not even needed at the moment. And Astralis, I think, just enjoying the fact that, you know, this is a smooth beginning. Did he tag him through the wall? I think maybe even slightly.
Either way, this round is just going to slowly come to an end. Poison can't complete the kill. Magisk with 4 kills, but he's going to back away from trying to get the ace. Preserve the weaponry. Good shot from Oboe. He had a fantastic Dust 2. We'll see if he can get going here on Vertigo now that the guns will come out in round number 4.
And this is where we're going to start to get some kind of insight into some of the questions you were asking as we're heading into this map. How much do they actually know about this map complexity? Do they have a good style? Do they have some tricks, even just anything to get them into it? They did lose the first 5 rounds on Dust 2, and then they swung right back, so...
The thing that scares me the most is that we just see utility and nades and smokes actually hold the thought. Aggressive. Oh, and Device was not expecting that. Pulled the nade out at the wrong moment, and he gets trucked by Rush.
Yeah, he was fully trusting in that Molotov that was down in front of him, thinking no one is going to be crazy enough to peek that. Dupree getting pre-fired and Rush continuing and beating Dupree to the punch. He's going to be putting out that Molotov, and Glaive will pick up a kill in the meantime on Poison. That is all the way on the other side. He was down the A ramp, so Magisk now holding the bomb site here for a minute. That's the bomb, so got to be careful. And Config, yeah, I think he's just overexposed a bit there. Rush continuing the charge, and he's getting 3 before he finally goes down. Magisk gets dropped, and now it's on Glaive with 42 health in a 1 versus 2. And if Complexity could turn this around into a win, that would be huge.
I can't believe it's even gotten this close. It was a 5-on-3, and they had the bomb site, and it's now a chance for Glaive. Low HP and Obo is giving up the position. Important, critical trade for Blame F. But that's a costly victory. 4 players go down. Another buy going to come in for Astralis. And Config has left the server, so we're going to get a bit of a tech pause. And yeah, I don't know if Device maybe hit the wrong button, but he definitely thought that Molotov was going to at least keep them at bay for the moment.
Again, Obo, just as a young player, you have to appreciate, because he's been in a couple of situations where he's been sort of set up to get some of the kills here, but this time he's realizing, you know what, I'm low on health, and we need to know where this last player is, so I'll sacrifice myself, you get the return kill. That's amazing. It's a small detail, but, you know, again, if you were just trying to get an overall sort of 360 view on him as a player, his aim is obviously there, but those little details just make you happy, don't they?
It also, I mean, to be fair, it also could have just been Blame F, being like, listen, rookie, jump out there, let me know where it is.
Yeah, it could have been.
Find everything out for me. But
even then, like, there are players whose personalities will, will prevent that kind of stuff.
I mean, speaking of that, it's a perfect talking point, because that's something that Blame F mentioned in the interview that I referenced in the previous map. Talked about, you know, one of the struggles they're having is there's a lot of talent, there's a lot of skill in this team, and there's a lot of players who want to be put in positions to show how good they are and to be able to succeed. And one of the guys who's had to kind of take a back seat, as he did in Cloud9, is Rush.
Yeah.
And he's one of the guys, and this is now a theme for Rush and pretty much every team he's on, without complaint, willing to take up the roles and the jobs that nobody else really wants to do, the roles that are a bit dirty, that don't fall into the stat line, that don't make you look good. Yeah. And Rush, again, on this team has been kind of that rock for Blame F as an in-game leader as they've tried to figure things out.
No, it's definitely worth talking about, isn't it? Got to find a way to pack away some of that ego, at least when it's needed. Obviously, the team performance is the big thing, and they're catching Glaive. That's Obo showing up with a Galil. There is a return on Blame F, though. We're back in a 4-on-4.
That's a really weird miscommunication for Glaive. I don't know if he was checking behind him to see if anyone got there quick, but, I mean, that's a position where you think he should just be facing forward.
That is dangerous. Against Device, he wants another one, and he's not going to get it.
I think they had to have spotted him. Had to have seen that and just said, nope, no more jumping for me. Although he does come back to it. Device wants this kill. Nothing forcing him back at the moment, so no reason to give up the angle. Good kill for Rush, and again in middle, it's big trades. Complexity break through this defense. It's Device and Dupree, and they are split on different sides of the map, and Dupree's under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, just knowing that, because they know what Device is. He's been there all along, so that's amazing. Smoke goes up, and Dupree just trying to buy time. Device, he's making his way into middle, but he can't even just rush it. They don't know if someone's in there waiting for him with a rifle, so he can't just book it there immediately. Dupree has somehow wrapped around them with the Deagle, and he's tapping away and taking down Poison. And here comes Device with an M4 instead. I can't believe that Astralis are back in this in a 2-on-1 now. Obo alone, he's got 30 seconds, and he's picked up a Galil there. Not really sure that makes a big difference right now. I think that bomb plant is going to be what's really tricky. And he goes straight for it. Dupree almost catching him in the middle of it, but that at least gives him a little bit of space. He gets that headshot immediately. That's very quick. And now does he know? Device pretty much can only be at this angle. He's out in the open, so if he doesn't win this fight immediately, Device will take him down, but Obo will do it! That's a triple kill. A little smile at the end, but huge victory.
It's creeping up, and we saw how he caught fire in the first map when he got a bit of confidence under his belt. That's got to be a good feeling for Obo. A huge clutch to keep Complexity alive and break the economy. I will say, play of the round. Dupree, that's godlike. Hiding in the smoke, delaying as much as possible, playing to give Device the opportunity to save the round, and it's just nearly there.
Oh man, they love this. This round though, starting very quickly with Glaive getting a kill. It's traded almost immediately by Blame F. A little bit of a flick there, and there's a lot of presence at this A-bomb side. And Complexity, these are the rounds you can't give to Astralis. You have to find a way to slow this down now, get back in the lead. It's 4-on-4. You should have all of the advantage.
Yeah, you have control. You have a player over at Sandbags. I think slowing it down, exactly what you said, that's the perfect idea. Xyp9x knows someone is there, but it's such a powerful position to be in because it takes so much attention. Everyone else just waiting for aggression, waiting for a push. That's a great shot. Ooh, an even better one from Magus. And he's going to try and build, but the bomb is on the floor.
The damage on Blamef is still pretty relevant here. Obo, he's going to stand on his own to take down Dupree, and it's still a 2-on-2. That grenade landed right in the face of Sip, and he's down to 6 health. They've got the bomb and they're walking back in. Device, he's here to almost catch them. At least he'll know it. He misses the chance for a kill, but he got the information. That means they can rotate Sip over immediately. And that Scout will probably take down any one of them if they're not quick about it. He's almost getting caught on the open, but he snuck his way into the corner. I don't think they realize that he's here yet. He's here so quickly, they might not check for it. 25 seconds, and yeah, they're gonna go. Oh, the Molotov! That's just almost a random throw, and they pick it up, and now Device, he's low on health, and they take him down. Obo again! Another triple, and another clutch for him. What a way to begin.
That is so wild. Back-to-back rounds and back-to-back clutches for Obo, and that's a hectic, a scrappy round. I can't believe that Molotov caught him. Just barely caught Zip, but he was certainly gonna end that round.
Is he slightly yawning at the end?
I think he did just yawn.
That's. I'm gonna say that was a taunt. He's just, you know, developing his own style a little bit.
Well, they don't know it's a taunt yet. They might see it on the replay.
That's how next level it is. He's setting them up for later.
Oh, Device aggressive, and Device is taken down. Glaive and Xyp9x got aggressive towards a ramp, which has been successful a couple times in the past.
I love this attention to middle that Complexity are putting on Astralis right now. It's really, really worth doing, I think, on a map like this, because...
Oh, God.
Okay. If you can keep punishing them in middle, where they only have, you know, one guy, then you're actually forcing them to make a bunch of defensive choices. Then if you really have the practice and the level on this map, you can start to exploit that on its own. If they start putting 2 people in here and having more of attention to it, you can really find a way to make that work. And they've been winning, I think this is the 3rd round at least, where they win this fight in middle, maybe even the 4th.
Feels like Astralis a little bit uncomfortable at the moment. I mean, yeah, some of these are just pistols, but taking some peeks, some fights that we don't normally see in these situations. But this is really nice for Complexity. 4 in a row now to take a 1-round lead. I mean, we don't have to talk about it just yet, but just an interesting note. Remember, if Complexity, you know, for whatever reason has sold their soul to the devil and they're able to take this 2-0, that would bring Astralis down to play Na'Vi tomorrow in the losers match.
It's a game I would like to see personally. But yeah, I wouldn't even know what to make of it. Dust 2 is wild. Complexity looking good, and that's a headshot with a Scout and Device taking him down. But quick refrag, that seems to be the way that all of these rounds are starting off right now. Glaive moved up very far, and he's alone though. That's the one issue.
They don't clear this, surely. Surely Obo's not going to clear it. He was looking in the direction, but wasn't really prepared for that fight. Glaive going to get his ankle shot out. He recommits. He's going down. Poison with another Scout headshot.
That grenade, though, will at least put it in the favor of Astralis. Rush sneaking into middle, and this time Dupree was ready for it. That leaves Poison. It's a very, very rough 1 versus 3, and Magus won't even let him get close to the side. Astralis will even out the scoreline and make it 4-4. And they still have the money to buy on the Complexity side, which is that's the good news here.
Yeah, bad news is that this is all they have. They're scraping together everything humanly possible to get as strong of a buy as they can. 2 Kriegs, 2 AKs, and a Galil on Rush. Poison's doing some work with the Scout. That's really cool to see. Remember on Dust 2, he had that really cool Scout round, and he kept it into the next gun round as well, so not shying away from the weapon.
Let's see. Can they actually beat the Astralis grenades here? A lot of them raining down. They push right through. And you see the flashbangs just coming in everywhere. Rush is taking a lot of damage, and Glaive now lining up for a double kill, and he nearly had it. In fact, the Molotov from Sip will burn it out, and he will then follow up. So that's the problem with getting slowed down on that ramp. It's just more and more keeps showing up, and I think Blame is in a lot of trouble. He just can't hold that many angles. It's one of those things where if you win the first fight and you actually, you get control of that part, that's amazing. But when you get slowed down like they did, it all falls apart.
And Astralis is more than happy if that's the kind of aggression Complexity wants to bring out towards the A bomb site. They'll just dump utility. And even if they trade that first kill, they had 3 more bodies to throw at the problem, all at different angles. So that bottleneck gets even more deadly if you're a Complexity player.
Right at the start of this ramp is where the CT sides have started throwing smokes. So the people who are leading the charge, they just get completely segmented from the people that are supposed to be backing them up that are a little bit further behind. So they can't even really help each other out. It's a really, really big risk. And it works out great for Astralis this time, and that also crushes the Complexity economy. So now there's a chance for the old Danish side to try and get a little bit of peace back in here. You see that smoke that's down there? Half of them, in the start of that fight, they don't even know what they're shooting at.
Well, 1 round lead for Astralis and a bit of a timeout. 1 AWP on Dupree. The many faces of Jason Lake.
We're gonna have a whole reel at the end, won't we?
Hopefully.
I like it.
We could just play that through every timeout for the rest of the weekend.
We could. I'm sure that kind of footage exists for like 10 years now.
Yeah, you could do like a real juxtaposition back to 2005. Megas, he's gonna be behind the sandbags. Good shot. He's dinked up. He's got a follow-up kill, and it's just pistols. So he's doing work. I have no idea how he got that 4th kill. Excuse me. That's quickly mopped up.
Dancing and jiving, wasn't he? He got dinked in the first engagement and just continued to take them all down. So job well done.
It sounded pretty bad, and then I kind of noticed that it was all Glocks, and at that point, I mean, he even gets dinked twice.
Yeah, I guess that's the downside, isn't it? 6-4, and Astralis building a bit of a lead here. Magus got 14 and 6, doing a pretty good job all in the zone there.
Story's got to be Obo's clutches. Ooh, good leg shot for Dupree. Blame F down to 15 health. This time, not fast-paced towards A. Zip and Device have complete control of that A ramp, and they see no presence. They hear no presence, so this has surely got to be telegraphed for a team such as Astralis that is experienced on this map. They know they have a leg shot. They've seen at least 2 players towards the B bomb site, and they've seen nothing at A. But look at Config. Look at him on the minimap. Is he on the upper ground?
No, surely not.
No, okay.
I was getting worried for a minute there.
Yeah, I was too.
No, I think what, if nothing else, this is what it gives Astralis, right? It gives them the chance to keep these 3 people at mid and the B bomb site. Because otherwise, I think they'd be favoring pushing someone else into middle or maybe another person over at A, but they can just stay put here. Device, aggressive position that he can't actually escape from. Sip would have loved it if someone would have flanked around to try and take him down. Then maybe he could have been there to get a kill. Now he's at least got some backup in Magisk, who is the heavy hitter right now for Astralis. Wins the first fight and nearly gets the follow-up. Sip will surely be able to close this one out. 40 seconds, and Glaive will find Blame F, so Poison can't even really go anywhere.
Well, keep our eyes. This round got away from Complexity a little bit. They were really relying on some individual plays to sneak into some open space. And that, if that's going to continue, that's your indication right there that Complexity is not yet tactically well-versed on this map, or well-versed in the theory to play this map to have a deep enough pool, or a deep enough playbook to contend with Astralis quite yet. So we'll keep our eye on that. But 3-round lead and starting to look very strong for Astralis. They've got a healthy economy behind these victories. And another quick tech pause coming in.
Yeah, I mean, this is, again, I think they had so much success fighting in middle. I realize now it's Magisk who's there, and once he's got that creek up and running or really anything, it won't be easy to break him, but I would still try and go and revisit that. Because I just think once you get the middle of this map on the upper side of the map, it's so effective. You could do so many things from there, and they've already proven it a number of times, so maybe not so much with the Deagles, but I'd love to see Complexity try and hit that maybe just 1 or 2 more times. Because I think that A ramp rushing it, I don't think that works anymore. I think the grenades are too powerful and it's not really worth it.
Yeah, the different angles. Teams are good enough now to stop that and slow it down. We've already seen Astralis shut it down. I think there's been some success for Complexity. I have to think their next gun round is going to be towards mid. I think they would challenge towards Magisk and Dupree, who at times they've had some favorable trading going on. It's Deagles to contend against the AWP of Dupree.
They're thinking about it, but Magisk is right there with him, so even if he misses a chance, it's still not going to be easy.
Everyone from Complexity looking for aggression that's not coming, and unfortunately they're even looking for it towards the A-bomb site. And Magisk, a vertical angle on the other side of the smoke, nets him 1 kill and some information. If Obo can get this frag onto Glaive, that'd be massive.
If that was an HE, that would have been the end of config. But he actually just sticks around with the Deagle, and dupreeh does not want to challenge it. Glaive showing up for a strong kill there, and he's ready for more, expecting them to come through the window. Standing on his own for a triple. That's really well handled. And I don't know, a bit of danger that round. Maybe could have gone out of control, but Astralis are now starting to edge, or sort of lead the map quite a bit here. 8-4, doubling the round score, in fact. And Complexity are back with rifles. I still think that mid part of it, they did take down Magisk in that particular scenario. He was smoked off, so dupreeh fell back from behind the smoke, and then they actually traded him. So more evidence that they can at least fight for middle.
Ooh, flashbangs out. And there's that utility to slow down the fast-paced play that's not coming this time. They want to give Poison a chance with this AWP. A boost up over the smoke, and there's an opportunity here. Glaive, he's got to be careful. How much does he slide over? And still the smoke just keeping him safe, but not for long. Good shot from Poison.
Completely unclear who could see what in that scenario. But Glaive actually, in some sense, surrendering the 3-man advantage that they had over there, because no one could really help him out in that moment. I mean, they'd thrown some grenades, and maybe they were just banking on the fact that they wouldn't be checking it, but they did. Sip will take 1 in return, and he's got to fall back. He knew the Molotovs were coming. No point in sticking around, really.
How aggressive do Complexity want to be to challenge into this bomb site, though? Rush is rotating over. All 4 players are going to be here, and this is where we'll test them. Do they have the smokes? Do they have the nades? And do they have the protocol to watch for Device coming from behind this off angle for the flank? It's going to be Rush to challenge and Rush to fall.
They've got him. That's Obo just standing up. Stop crouching for a second, so at least it's a 2-on-3. But again, they're not even really getting close to the bomb site yet. They need to find a way in, and they're almost out of grenades as well. That smoke is going to be fading. Poison has to win the first battle here. It's not going to be working out. It's a headshot on Magisk. That's not an easy shot to hit, ladies and gentlemen. He goes for more. We'll pick up Sip. He's actually cleaving his way into the bomb site. And dupreeh now, how do you retake this with an AWP? If you challenge Poison, odds are you're not going to come out on top right now. He is lightning fast at the moment. And with that smoke still up, they can even get back behind cover. If they do, what is he going to be doing?
I think dupreeh was looking for Obo after the plant to slide to the right. There was a gap in that smoke. Poison's going to take the fight. He's got a quad kill on the round. Impressive shooting from Complexity Zalper. He's got their 5th. That was just Poison all the way. And you got to love the assertiveness coming down that narrow lane to get a new angle on the bomb site. You're exactly right. This shot is incredible. And even this one, this follow-up. Beautiful entries into the B-bomb, or the A-bomb site, excuse me.
I mean, if he misses that first shot,
it's over.
Yeah, there's almost nothing they could do. Even just in terms of having to find that, if he just ducks and doesn't even move up from the crate again, how did they get the bomb plant down?
Every time the camera comes on Poison or Obo after they do, some kind of a very nice shot or a nice sequence, it's like they have that smile on their face that's just like, oh, I didn't know we could do that either.
It's a surprise to everybody. Well, I mean, what a luxury to have. Talking about Obo and some of the triple kills he's had to clutch it for Complexity on this map, but Poison is a bit of a gem as well. 14th round though. 5 rounds is pretty good for Complexity, but it might not be enough here. He just got his hair cut, didn't he?
This is a brutal push for Glaive. Obo never had any idea coming through that smoke, trying to keep control. Glaive remaining hidden behind the box.
They're trying for the same push again. That even suggests that it's something they've been, practicing. They have a feeling that this can work. And so far, I'd say I've not been super impressed by this A hit. I feel like it doesn't actually get to where they want it before they've lost too many players most of the time.
Well, a lot of times, remember, they've been dealing with the aggression of Astralis peeking down this ramp. At least this time they have the kind of space and there's a little bit of calm as they can set up for the hit. We'll see if they have the smokes. They do have 4 still in hand.
They've got to be...
The question is, do all 4 players remember a smoke to this bomb site?
That is... You gotta hope so, because this is their big chance for it. Let's see, Rush is actually over on the left-hand side. Could be flanking around. Sip almost flashed in, but he's falling back through the Molotov, and there's Rush waiting as the smoke fades. He's gonna win the first fight, and they would love to go and do this right now. 25 seconds, the flashbangs are in. Sip can't see anything, but they're not checking for him, and he does get traded. Config coming in with a very, very important kill. Otherwise, I don't think they could have made this work. 15 seconds, they're going to be smoking it off. They need to run across the bomb site, get that bomb picked up and planted right now. 10 seconds on the clock. Config finding one more kill and hiding at the edge. He can't get it done. He goes down, and they're right on top of Poison. He can't make it out. Dupree will drop him. That's a pretty close round, all things considered. Well,
it might have even been a real chance for Complexity. They threw 2 smokes behind those default plant boxes, and both of them left a gap on the left side that made it a very awkward engagement, an awkward cross into the bomb site. Config had to get hyper-aggressive to keep that space for the plant to even go down. Nice round from, I believe, Dupree. He got a couple kills right at the end. And it's 9-5. Last round of this first half, but I would say for a team that doesn't have any official matches logged on Vertigo, this is not the worst showing in the world. This is much better than I expected.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Now they did have the benefit. We haven't seen them like show any kind of tactical prowess. They had the benefit of the clutches from Oboe early on to get their first 4 rounds on the board, and then they've just been stonewalled. It's been 6 of the last 7 for Astralis, but that defense is under a lot of pressure, and now it's collapsed.
And somewhat needlessly, I'm not sure why Glaive wanted to sacrifice himself, because Dupree had actually already made it out. I mean, there was a lot of pressure in the beginning, but I felt like Glaive maybe a little bit too aggressive there. Sip going to show up with a 1 M4 kill, but the bomb is down. And it should be a 6th round here as Blamer for land.
Oh no!
Headshot. Oh no!
He's laughing. It's all good. We're all having fun.
Took the ticket right out of that round.
Yeah. Well, you don't.
We can find some good memes while we go to a halftime break.
Otherwise, that's a Reddit.
Yeah, get on it right now, ladies and gentlemen.
One eventually.
Their whole theme is to the stars, and he just, you know,
opposite direction. He went the wrong way. Yeah. Supposed to go up.
Not really working out so well.
Well, this is an interesting affair. 9-6 in the favor of Astralis here on Vertigo. They're down 1 map. Complexity shockingly took Dust 2. And if Complexity wins this right here, series is over. They take the victory for their first LAN match against the best team in the world.
Yeah, I don't think anyone could even believe it. If you start telling people, then they're probably just gonna straight up not believe you. So very unlikely for them, I would say, to even win one of the maps here. So the fact that they've done a good job, even on this one, which we're completely unsure about their level of preparedness and what they've got planned now on the CT side, and Poison nearly could have had that one, and that was a big kill to open up with. Device will be taking him down. That cleans the way into the bomb site for the bomb plant. Config will find a kill, but still, how do you get through this? It's very, very hard to get in and actually defuse that bomb once it's down. They do have a defuse kit on Rush, but Config, that flank is up, and I don't know what they could do. They don't have a smoke to block anyone out. This is going to be an almost impossible battle here for Complexity. 3 versus 4 to try and get back into it. Glaive gets shot right off of the building, and Device goes down. They've actually made it possible now. They're bodyguarding Rush, still not defusing. He's the one with the kit. They're fighting instead and missing all of the shots, and I think that might have been the one chance. Rush, he'll get a chance, but it doesn't matter. Sip should be able to turn the corner. He's a little bit far away, and ducking in, it will be right in the last second. A triple kill for Sip. They nearly had that.
Less than half a second away. 1 missed shot. It would have been over. Yeah, that was very close. Complexity almost able to steal that round away. Some phenomenal shots on this retake. Zip was under a lot of pressure. But either way, 10th round for Astralis. Yeah, even fluffed a couple of those. Bit sketchy for the Clutch Master.
He needed to go for that matchmaking 100 cents defuse where you're just spinning all over the place. Just have that hot keyed in on your mouse or something.
All right, we have some nade stacks. They're not coming in all at once. Good shot with the Deagle. Blame F taking down Device. Some return spam brings him very low. But progress for Astralis at the moment is blocked.
Grenade even does a little bit. That's pretty helpful. I would say taking a fight through the wall there, not really worth it with a scout though. So I'm glad that Poison gave up on that idea because they have a lot more firepower on the other side now. Do they have a flashbang to set up rush? Or no, they don't. That's a little bit unfortunate. He's the one with the flashbang. It's really cool when you can flash that angle.
Problem is, Obo has a deep angle, Config's in middle, but they don't have the intel to be able to rotate a fourth player to the A bomb site. Config's going to start doing it now anyways, and Obo is going to start shifting as well. Very soon, Complexity is going to gamble and have 5 players at this site, and even with the utility of Astralis, that can be tough. Still a double nade on Obo and Config as well.
Yeah, and if they save that for the actual bomb plant, which we've seen before as an actual strategy to be run, I think MIBR did it a couple of times on this map, and if you know how to do that, Blame if goes down though, so a little bit of an issue there, but let's see if they can actually land one of these grenades. It's going to be a bit early, so they're not waiting for... Oh, it's a double! Obo will take down Megaskin Glaive, and that surely shocks them. They win the round somehow. What a turnaround. Explosive start here to the second half.
Where did that nade land? And that must have been absolutely perfect. They did just enough chip damage with the previous nades, the scout, the other deagles. And here it comes. Oh, it's so perfect. Can you translate that?
Says, I don't know what's happening. they were not excited. Utility to take down Astralis now. They're going to try and see if they can speed this one up. You can hear that a little bit here. 10-7. Complexity off to a hot start, even after losing the pistol. That's Glaive taking down Poison, who's been on fire this game so far, but he just got absolutely rocked, and now they're following it up. Magisk with a shot, a little bit of a return to calm. Actually, Glaive will hit one more headshot. This is so dangerous here. They can't lose this round, Complexity.
It's so weird. They've had to use their own utility in a defensive fashion that close to the bomb site just so they could, you know, have some kind of safety. Device gonna try and get away. Good prediction from Blame F. The Molotov forcing him into the open.
And I think he saw someone out at... I mean, he could have probably guessed that anyway, but just a little bit of information could be the big difference. That smoke is going to be really annoying for Astralis. They have a deagle and a scout, so spamming through the smoke for a long time, that's not going to be viable if someone starts defusing that bomb. And a good read, Blame F. Not even just the force out with the Molotov, but reading that one as well. He's got the right idea. Sip trying to be clever. Blame F will save his team there. He's got the kit as well and the triple. What a nice round. I mean, it shouldn't have been this awful to begin with, but at least they recover it.
Well, I mean, it's great that we see them recover it because it shouldn't have been, but Glaive hit some very nice shots. You got to give him credit. You're right. That round is not even close if Glaive doesn't nail those shots with the scout earlier on. But this is all Blame F to save the day. Molotov, the prediction, maybe even spotted the legs as the smoke cleared, but a couple very nice kills down the stretch. 10-8, Complexity just 2 rounds back. That plant will help Astralis' money, but they have to kind of sit this round out just a bit. Deagle's picked up P250 on Zipnix.
And this should be where they just have a little bit of an easier time. Obo, in fact, being aggressive. Could be dangerous, but he's got Rush there with him, so now whatever danger there might have been is completely evaporated. Clever angle from Config.
I like that we're still at least seeing the confidence from Complexity.
Yeah.
To just stick around, take fights. Yeah, this is a round against just Deagles, but even in the gun rounds, players are more than happy to sit in the open, take those medium-range duels with the M4s, with the Kriegs.
Do you want me to come and help a little bit?
They're not scared to come take fights against some of the best players in the world. 10-9. AWP on Poison, and he's been phenomenal with both sniper rifles today, the Scout and the AWP. No op yet out on Astralis.
See what the Danes have got planned for us here. Look at the odds have almost completely evened out. Complexity converting a bunch of people into believers at the moment. Glaive will be cruising around that corner, almost not even stopping, taking out Config.
Look at how weird of a position Obo's in with his teammate going down. They have control of mid, they can come from behind, so he's trying to sneak back to the bomb site, but that's what happens. You get caught by just the one player waiting at the bottom of the staircase. Dupree with another frag to add on top of Glaive's. And this defense is spread so thin, and this is a minute and a half they have to play with a 2-man disadvantage with map control loss at critical portions. Device and Glaive gonna be in middle.
Yeah, they're so happy to wait this out, Astralis, right now. They know that any mistake given them right now, that's around 100% one. Running into Poison's AWP could be one of the issues. Oh, BlameF and Rush come back with a couple of kills each. None of them traded so far. That really should not be happening. From Astralis' point of view, and look at Sip, he's down to 33, and now they're kind of being pushed back into that AWP.
And BlameF is re-aggressing. He just got a kill here. Feels no pressure. He's gone back to a position. He can have a fast flank. As long as Poison can get one and survive, that'd be massive. And there's no flashbangs to force him off the angle. It's 2 Molotovs and a smoke for Astralis, so Poison should have at least one chance to get a kill.
Yeah, he should. And look at the time as well. 26 seconds. They want to be really careful at the moment. Dupree, actually, he's got the bomb in middle. The bomb just went down, which that's it. They have to try and jump over the wall, and that's not going to happen. Poison goes down. Astralis, they could have probably done this if the bomb was on the other side, but they get absolutely crushed. Poison with 2 kills, and then the bomb on the other side of the wall. That is very strange.
This is absolutely stunning. 10-10. Complexity, we saw it on Dust 2. They came back from a 3-on-5 situation on Dust 2. They've done it again. These are rounds that Astralis just does not lose with a high percentage.
Yeah, it's very uncommon what you're seeing. You see it in their faces a little bit, slight disbelief, just so, whoa.
Yeah, a bit of a shake of the head. What you say, Magisk, translated him saying earlier, I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
They're a bit shell-shocked at the moment. This has got to be worrying.
10-10.
I don't know if this is a mistake, but Dupree has bought down to 500, and they're going to go for it. This is a very bold decision with the economy.
This certainly doesn't feel very Astralis-like, does it?
No, they have an AK-47 on Glaive, Glil on Dupree, pistols and a MAC-10 on the others, and let's see how this goes, but this could be the turning point of the entire map, and that's a great opening kill for Poison, and he's going to back off, and BlameF's got some space for him. He's kept them back for the moment, and Magisk is down very low. That's a lot of powerful weaponry that Astralis invested in that's already taken out of their hands.
Grenade land. Oh, right through the wall. Rush is ready to reply. They're not having any of it in this round, and he's moved into a bit of a position here. Got to be careful about when that goes away, but Dupree's right on the other side, and Rush, he's not going to win the fight. A little bit unfortunate there, but still a 2-on-3, and with Config showing up to get the 1 kill, he's looking for more. Actually, that could have worked. What a madman.
That's a bit of roll the dice for Rush, and I mean, they're still in a 3-versus-1, so shouldn't be a problem. And there's the shoulder peek from Dupree right into the crosshair. Complexity take the lead. That's 5 in a row. They're on fire at a perfect time. That risky investment from Astralis just doesn't work. In fact, it might just backfire.
Completely backfire, and it's so confusing. I mean, if they're gonna take that risk, I'm not sure why the A rush again would be the thing that they'd be going for. Config, by the way, now taking the lead. He's actually overtaken Obo ever so slightly. He's 20-17. Obo at 17-12. So we mentioned Config during that Dust 2 map as being, sort of a momentum player and someone with an incredibly high skill ceiling that we just haven't seen for a long time. Now's a good time for him to really show up. Rush pushing in, and there's a lot of people on the other side. I don't want to be giving too much away here.
Yeah, that's not it. That's not the peak you want to take. Forces a smoke out early. That's a good follow-up nade, and Obo just steps in front of it. He wants one more, and he's found it. Beneath them, Config's got the cover. Glaive tried to peek up, and Config picks him right off through the grate. BlameF in middle, and the danger is swept aside.
Chance for a 1D, but they know where Sip is now, so not going to be too much happening.
Man, he threw that nade about a quarter mile.
He was absolutely ready. Ooh. Poison going to get the kill at the end. Sip at least deciding to stay, on the building. Not like Device.
Yeah, don't follow that one. That's not going to be in any of Device's guides. 6 rounds in a row now for Complexity. And remember, they lost the pistol round in this half. That's the only round they've lost in this half.
It's hard to believe.
Astralis have had their chances to kind of run away with this one. They win pistol, they fail to convert the second. Later on, they lose a 5-on-3 as Complexity comes back on the CT side.
It's the Config being there to help him out is huge.
And I have to imagine, I don't want to put them on the spot or force their conversation, but you have to imagine, I know this is always a talking point for Duncan, is the idea of ring rust is coming in. Remember, this Complexity team, while not playing games on LAN, have been playing in qualifiers, have been boot camping, have been competing to find spots in some of these Tier 1 tournaments for the last month. Astralis has been enjoying a well-earned vacation.
Yeah, and I mean, people probably even can and probably will make the argument that even that kind of vacation is also important in some sense. But if you show up now and you feel like, well, Complexity actually look like they're way more warmed up, and in spite of, as you said, some pre-game interviews that suggested that they weren't really sure about themselves even, that's not what we're seeing in the server at the moment. Everybody's shocked right now. 12-10, double orb on that CT side. They've won 5 in a row, and they need to keep going here. Don't let them back in. That's a nice Flake Poison again. He is lightning fast with that sniper rifle every single time.
It felt like he had his choice of 2 different targets. He spotted almost 2 heads that he could have taken off. That's a very fast flick. And it's back to the B bomb site we go. Obo is going to have a job. He needs, okay, he's spotted at the perfect moment. No danger. No shots exchanged. His own Molotov extinguished. Oh, he heard that nade hit him. He heard that nade hit Glaive, and he's got the kill through the smoke. Unlucky for Glaive, but a great play from Obo. And now he's flashed in. He's got one more, and he's got the information.
A great tag team they've got on here, Vic, between Config and Obo. Just the instant timing of that flashbang. He just either Config called it or Obo did himself, but that worked out really well. Now he's sneaking around a little bit scary. He's still going to pick up the kill, and that leaves Dupree. 1 versus 4, and Complexity making this round work. Obo he's a stud in that B bomb side right now. And the grenade that tagged, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I mean, they're starting to look very, very good. Listen, the tactics and the strategy might not have been there on the T side that we saw, but this team play, this kind of micro team play that they're having, that pop flash call from Obo, whether it's Config or Obo, making it the commitment from both of those players into that, beautiful teamwork. Beautiful teamwork. 13-10, a 3-round lead. And again, Astralis just don't really have the money to bring out a very strong buy. So again, due to that economic investment, that economic risk earlier, they have another kind of question of whether they need to buy here or save 1 round.
Just when they pull it up and it says age 16, doesn't that just make you feel like, why is he so good? It's outrageous to me.
I mean, it's kind of, listen, we need this in North America. We need those younger players getting started in the professional scene at an earlier age, getting this experience. That's going to be the next step forward, to have more than just Team Liquid, more than just EG fighting at the top echelons of Counter-Strike. You need to start going down and dipping into the younger players the way we're seeing other regions do. Yeah. North America is still one of those regions that's been hesitant to put faith and trust in some of the young, unproven players.
Yeah, I think there was an interview with Yanko in week 1 here in London where he sort of said, well, the fact that is kind of already a proven way of doing this. Actually, those young players can handle themselves really well in big tournaments. I thought that was, more people should pay attention to that, because that's exciting. Obviously, FaZe have one of their own.
And they don't have $500,000 buyouts.
That's a good point as well.
That's always fun. Utility exchange, utility dump from both teams. Astralis on the losing end, and Rush is caught in a corner, but he's keeping composed the way a major champion only can. Eventually goes down, Device to follow up, and it's all on Config. AWP, and they're swarming towards his position.
Yeah. Don't throw away this round, though, if you're Complexity, and they might not have a chance at it. Line of sight into the bomb site here for BlameF, and he's scoped up, but they still have a fair few grenades. They could make his life very, very tricky. They're going to smoke off on one side. That Molotov not really doing much of anything, but a free kill, and Omeg is there with a swift return. 40 seconds. I don't think they know that BlameF is here, but they're still going to be running around the other side, and that makes his life really tricky.
I think Megas caught a footstep at the last second. Yeah. Dupree's already coming back. They've committed Device to the A bomb site. Dupree's in the middle, but he's going back towards B. Now they have the information, and BlameF, you've got to take a gamble right now. Which bomb site do you hustle to and commit? He has the right call, but I don't think he can win this, and you might just want to preserve the economy.
Yeah, that's going to be critical, isn't it? Maybe even just...
Maybe just go to take some weapons away, but don't actually commit to the retake unless some kind of gift is given to you.
Yeah, I don't think that's unreasonable. He also, I don't think he can know exactly how low they are. Yeah, not that it necessarily even makes the biggest difference here, but he's checking it all out and not getting that one gift that you were talking about. Would have been finding someone in here looking the wrong way. That is not going to happen. So that was a round that, in some sense, they didn't really need to lose. It's hard to blame them because they've been successful at being aggressive over there, and this time it's just sort of backfired. But
Rush got caught in an awkward spot. Even if he got one kill and remained composed, Obo going down without a kill, which has not been a factor in this half so far.
Yeah.
I think the big one was Config was very committed with that AWP on the railing. He could have played that much more passively. He had his teammate there with the Krieg. I believe it was actually Blame F holding the line. He could have kind of just sunk back into quad behind the boxes and waited for contact on the other end.
And you see even in the replay how Rush and Obo obviously wanted to time, that push together. And I think Astralis were just further up than they were expecting, so timing was off a little bit. Astralis back with the A push. This time they're not going to get... there's still actual... Oh my god, the follow-up! I was about to say, they're not going to face really any kind of an opposition, but 2 grenades. That's an enormous amount of damage.
Yeah, that's well worth the price of admission for Complexity. 2 nades and a Molotov slows things down, nets you a kill and a half. Glaive is down very low. Poison blinded at the last second, but there's the spam through the smoke. And this is where these rounds get scrappy. Astralis not necessarily having the manpower, having to take the risks. Oh, and look at this. You have to admire it from Blame F. Dupree down low.
The grenade running through the window. That almost tagged him and actually did hit him. He just didn't go down. But Dupree, 8 health in a 1 versus 4, and there's not even any point in sticking around, is there? Can't even dream of doing anything but just trying to save this AK. That's 14 rounds for Complexity, and yeah, that absolutely got shut down. And the money for Astralis, I mean, they can buy this upcoming round, but this is starting to become a huge problem for them.
We talked about this on Dust 2. For an underdog and a young team and a new lineup, Complexity, your biggest ally in this perhaps is momentum.
Yeah.
We saw a massive 15-2 round run on Dust 2. Well, at the moment, they're 8 of the last 9? An 8-1 run for Complexity to get up to 14 rounds. This has been awesome, and for a team like Astralis that's so good at stealing that momentum away against some of the best teams in the world, they've been stumped here today. They haven't been able to do it in that same fashion.
You see Blamef rushing through the smoke to try and get the guy planting the bomb, and we've seen Obo push through smoke over at the B bomb side. I think one of the things Astralis aren't enjoying in this game is that a lot of teams will have that extra level of respect for them because I mean, for good reason. But sometimes they actually get away with a bit more than they should because, teams second guess themselves a little bit. So it's like, oh, let's not do it. It is Astralis. Maybe it's all a trick. Maybe, we're playing into there. But right now, I feel like Complexity are actually saying, you know what? We're just going to do what feels right, and we're not going to allow you that space to work the map with. And it's really great.
Well, that's most effective when you have such massive man advantages. Dupree, 9 HP. He's got to bow out of the fight already. He wanted to get aggressive.
Wasn't he the one that got shot through the middle a couple of times on Dust 2?
Yes, I believe so.
Now he's feeling the grenades.
But to go back to that point, I mean, coming through the smoke in that fashion, it works when you're in those 4-2s, and a lot of that stems from having the early kills. And I mean, if you look at this config, 2-1 in opening duels. Obo 3-1 in opening duels. Poison is 5-3. Blame F is 2-0. He's never lost an opening duel in this map. So they're finding some of those early kills that give them the manpower to take those risks.
Now they're all vacating the B side of the map, which fair play if you want to go for it, but if you have to do this quickly then, because if anyone pushes that B ramp and if they don't find anyone, they know, actually, only Poison here. Maybe a bit of a risk for Complexities. Hardly anyone at the A bomb side. Just confusing in many ways.
That's a weird timing for Poison to back off as well to throw a smoke. He's going to miss it. He's going to miss any chance to mount a defense. Some good damage with the utility. He's been fantastic with this off, but they are so blocked out, and I don't even mind necessarily the risk being taken. Now we'll put to a test. How much has Complexity? We saw last weekend, some of the teams had some very good setups to retake this with utility in 5-on-5s. We'll see if Complexity has that in their repertoire.
Oh, that's almost a kill for the smoke. Look at how low 3 of the Astralis players are. This could maybe work. Another grenade back there, even softening up Glaive. They're almost out of health on the Astralis side, and now come the smokes on top of the bomb. Can they actually get the defuse in? No one's doing it quite yet. The fight is on, and Obo goes down. Rush holding it from one side, but finally, someone taps the bomb, and the rest of Astralis show up. Device with one more kill, and I think they're out of time. A brave fight coming in for Complexity, doing a lot of damage to Astralis' economy, but They couldn't quite make it work.
I think they had the protocols down. They didn't know where the bomb was planted. They thought the bomb was planted at those default boxes. That's where all their smokes went up. So when they jump in to try and get that diffuse and all the chaos, no one's actually covered. Look where the bomb is planted.
Yeah, you're right.
Looks where the smokes are. They had no chance, but they had the right plan if the bomb was in a different spot. So,
yes. And that's...
Shout out. You get 50%.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean it's hard to know, right? You almost have to make that choice throwing the grenades before you actually get confirmation.
And part of the reason why they probably didn't have the intel is only one player. Poison was playing that so passively, wasn't even close to get the sound cues.
Waiting, hoping that Obo is going to take a step forward so he can cleanly open that bomb side. But again, they're quite leaning towards the B side. Config is right there to make a jump up window if anything happens, and they have Rush there to tell about Obo. So they're kind of expecting complexity, I guess, that one of these rounds will be a B hit for Astralis, and if they pick the right one...
Well, it at least helps this time that Poison isn't playing so passively on the A bomb site. He's actually peering down the A ramp, so he has the information. He sees nobody down there, which gives all the confidence in the world. The one weak spot of this defense is Config in middle. He's all alone, but it might not matter.
Obo pushing to the edge, finds a kill immediately, but he can't really get back around the corner. Rush, a little bit disjointed here. Now he's slightly fighting on his own. There's going to be a smoke set up behind him. I think there's a bit of a gap there, maybe. But Rush is just biding his time. The fire won't spread to him. Blameth going down, and Rush, he's paranoid now. They could be walking in behind him. He almost spots one of them, but there's the flank coming through, and Megis will take down Rush. And Astralis now really opening it up. That shot does not connect, and the bomb has been planted. 2 on 3. Config sneaking up, and Poison and Config, it's just AWPs, but they find a kill. He flicks through! He tags up the pre, and he's very low on health. They could do this with pistols. I don't know if they know yet, but this AK-47, he's got one chance to pre and one alone, or they will be at a match point. They're right behind him as well, and it's the op to do it. Complexity at 15 rounds on map 2 against Astralis. It's so hard. He's down to 1 health, Config.
I like the aggression. Go at least find out where he is. You're the low HP player. Go hunt him down so your teammate at least has a chance in the 1 versus 1. That is a very difficult round. But again, a man advantage. A 3-on-2 for Astralis, and they are picked apart by the ops. Poison is playing a fantastic game. 18 and 16. It's not the craziest in terms of his score, but he's been so on point with this op.
He actually jumped with the AWP out at just 1 health. Config really is a crazy player. Blameth spraying through. A bad start to this round for Astralis. I mean, they won't even have a chance to fight for this. They need to win the next 3 in a row, which is way more doable than it was on Dust 2. I think they needed to win 8 in a row to get their overtime. But man, they're up against Poison and that AWP, and he doesn't miss many shots. There's a leg shot on Sip, putting him down to 6 health. They'll take that even.
And look at the confidence to leave him on his own. It's like the 3rd time we've seen him in the last 4 rounds playing this bomb site all by himself. That's a lot of faith. And the Bulgarian boosted up now to peer over the smokes if and when they eventually do come in.
There's some decent grenades on Astralis, but the thing that they don't have is enough for an execute and then for the afterplant. So they'd probably be using most of these grenades getting into a bomb site, and the question becomes, can they stop the defuse afterwards?
And that becomes even more painful with the ops in hand if you don't have the utility to block off the lines, the vision from those oppers. We saw just the previous round, they got decimated by them.
Well, Glaive is setting up for that smoke towards the B-bomb site.
Config's playing in CT spawn with flash out. He's just there for support for Obo.
And Obo immediately smokes it. He's just ready to slow them down. Oh, he still got the shot to Pre. Somehow able to win the fight, and Rush not quite sure if he wants to peek into that window. A free kill as the Pre peeks into that one, and a follow-up Config with the AWP. It's a rare sight, but it's working out well. I think that was a dead body he was shooting at. Now he's just trying to no-scope through, and he's playing right at the edge, making the jump on over. It's Poison, the other AWP, leaving Megis can Sip alone. 2 on 3, trying to keep this dream alive for Astralis and get back into overtime. Somehow Sip will find a kill, and Blameth, maybe a rare chance there. They need to get on and defuse that bomb right now. Complexity 2-on-2. They have a slight health advantage, but against these weapons for Astralis, it might not matter. Oh, Magus, he had the health for it, but now he's been taken out, and Sip just trying to buy time, flank it around, Blame is hunting him down, and he turns for it. Immediate defuse, he's right there with the kid. Oh my god, I can't believe it. 16 and 12. Complexity taking down Astralis 2-0.
What a way to kick off